Hey guys, welcome back. It took longer than I thought it would to get to this point to review this book, but I'm here. And actually, I'll be honest with you. It was hard for me to read this book, even though I've read it a couple times already, because as I was reading it, I was trying to realize all that goes on in this book and how to explain it all to y'all. See how well I do. And I'm going to try to do it without any spoilers. So there could be some, but I'm going to try not to. And if I do actually accidentally do spoilers, I'll just them out. So the first book in this series that I had read was Sassy Mac. This is the Planet Pirate series. Well, it's now called the Planet Pirate series. And that includes the books Dinosaur Planet and Dinosaur Planet Survivors, but I will get to that in a minute. This is The Death Asleep. It's book 2, in a way. In book 1, we dealt with Sassenach and her being kidnapped and sold into slavery, and then being in slavery for several years, being rescued, going to school, joining fleet, becoming a commander of her own ship. And then towards the end of the book, she meets a character named Lunzi Mespel. And you can see it right here on the cover. It says Mespil, Lunzi. That's her name, Lunzi Mespel. But it turns out that Lunzi is Sassenach's great grandmother, which is quite confusing at that point. And then you get to this book. This book is divided into 4 parts. Books 1, 2, 3, and 4. The first part of the book explains how she is a single mom by choice. She did get married. It was a contractual arrangement, and it was only supposed to last X amount of years. I think it was like 6 or 7 years. It was something weird like that. Has no contact with the dad. Whatever. She has a daughter from the marriage. Her name's Fiona, and Lunzi as a physician. She's a doctor. I'm not exactly sure what her specific choice of practice is. I think it's more of a generic because she goes on to ships, and she can treat just about everything. Including psychiatric help as well. So it's just like generic, whatever. To raise money so that she and Fiona will be able to make a home on a planet, she leaves her daughter behind to go on a 5-year tour on a mining facility. That does not go so well. There's an incident that happens, and everyone has to evacuate the ship, and goes into cold sleep, which is not a huge deal. There's an emergency, and you're in the escape pod. There's not a lot of food or a lot of things on there. And time to go to sleep for a while. They will find you, rescue you, you wake up, and you'll be fine when they find you. Unfortunately for Lunzi, they didn't find her for a long time. I believe it was 62 years. Book 2 deals with her having to deal with everything. She goes back to school. She refreshes on the medical abilities and treatments because it's been, a lifetime or four. And medical science advances, and so she had to brush up on her skills. She does do a search for her daughter. It's a very hard search. Not where she's actually searching, but she's got inquiries out there on the internet. And she's making friends, falling in love. She ends up, I think it was just going on a ship. It was supposed to be a short run. And it wasn't short. Something happens. She ends up in cold sleep. She's gone. She's asleep for 10 years. The love of her current life sends out SOSs and he joins, I think he joins Fleet in order to help find her, and he ends up staying with Fleet, but they did find her, and, well, it's been 10 years. He's moved on. He did find her, to finish that promise he made to himself, but he has gone. And she's okay with that. He also found her daughter, her daughter's family, and family's never the way we think. But she went down and she went to meet them, and he went with her, and then at the end, he was like, "They can't be my family. They're crazy. Nuts. They're closed-minded." And then they say farewell, and she goes on to her medical accounts and joins with this exploration team and goes on. That's where I'm going to leave that, because it starts to get really complicated towards the end of this book, and that's because, as I had said before, in Sassynac, there are crossovers with the Dinosaur Planet series, and I've actually, because I plan on doing a timeline for us at the end of the book series review, I'm actually marking where certain books have to be stopped and picked up for the other. But yeah, you can see that this is almost at the end, but that's where you would read Dinosaur Planets and Dinosaur Planet Survivor. Now, I do have to say that I had some other issues with this character. Now, I do love the books. Put that aside. Lunzi is dealing with a lot of things at once. She has lost time. She has basically lost her daughter twice, because when she went into cold sleep the first time, her daughter was like 11 or 12. And when she comes out of cold sleep, her daughter's like 75. She's lost her daughter, and then she can't even meet up with her daughter to meet, because even like minds, they're not alike, and her daughter ends up hating her in a way because she has left her life. And sometimes when we grieve, that's what happens. A step of grieving, but some of us never actually leave that step. But Lunzi, she misses Fiona. She still constantly, of course, still thinks of Fiona as a little girl, because for her, it's only been a few days when she first comes out of cold sleep that she's been gone from Fiona, not 62 years. You know, she went to sleep and she woke up, and Fiona was 7 or 11, and now she's 70 something. It's totally weird. But Lindsay kind of okay with it. She's upset, but she's not really. It's weird. She handles the loss of time like you've lost your car keys, but it's okay, I have another set. You know, it's and I find that just really weird. I didn't find it weird like that when I first read the books, but as I was trying to pay attention to more details so I could review it for you guys, I was like, man, she's not a great character. But it gets worse. Lindsay's a racist. Wait, I will explain. Because it's a really bold statement to say, even though it's true. In the book series, there are, I could show you on the cover how it was depicted in Dinosaur Planet. Can you see this guy right here? You see how he's, not her, right there. That guy right there. You see how he's taller than the rest and more bulkier than the rest? So, they have genetically modified humans who are modified to be able to work and live on planets in the Federation that are heavier in gravity. So heavy worlders, which is what they're called, can withstand the extra power, the extra pressure of the heavy gravity worlds. But Lindsay's not a heavy worlder, she's a light worlder. It's also a largely known fact, not 100% true, it's about 90% true, not 100% true, that a good portion of the planet pirates are heavy worlders. So, when she comes out of the first cold sleep, and she finds out that a planet that Fiona was on had been cleaned by planet pirates, she has a growing hatred and fear of heavy worlders. Now it is something she has tried to work on, and she keeps reminding herself, they're not all the same. They're angry and they look menacing, but they're not all the same. Because they're more described as like a Cro-Magnon man with the higher, further back forehead and the bulgy brow and the heavy, thick muscles and a facial feature where it always looks like they're angry. They're not. It's just part of the genetic development that came about when they were genetically modified. But she has a fear of them. Not a growing hatred, but a fear. Every time there is a heavy worlder in the room, she reacts. She tries not to. She tries to cover it up. She tries to blow it off. But she tries very hard to not be racist. And she does join a team that is more heavy worlder than light worlder. more jovial than others that she had met before, more friendly, more helpful, and she begins to become better at accepting them. And then she gets stuck on Dinosaur Planet. And I'm going to leave that. But no, she is racist. And it comes up a lot. It comes up a lot. Her reactions, her thoughts, her fears. And so you read a lot about how someone is trying to not feel that way, how someone is trying to not react that way, how someone is trying, who knows that she can be better than she is being right now, and she tries very hard to accept it. And sometimes she gets really good at ignoring it, at accepting it, at being a better person, and then some bad guys will physically attack her, and they happen to be heavy worlders, and it's back to square one. It is what it is. But yes, that was book 2. It's a relatively good paced book. And there's 380 pages in it. It took me a little bit longer to read it than I had planned on it, simply being because my work schedule got a little bit extra cluttered. No one's fault. But yes. Now, the next book in the series that I'm reading for this, I'm not going to the original 3rd book for this. I am doing Dinosaur Planet and then Dinosaur Planet Survivors before I go back to the original series. But yes, this is written by Anne McCaffrey and Jody Lynn Nye. And not bad. There's intrigue, there's some mystery, there's space travel, there's a technically time travel. Simply because she's in one time, falls asleep, and wakes up in another time. It does have some it does have, there is a medical device that she has called a flight bod, a bod bird, and it's like a medical drone that'll float. She'll set free, and it will go to the patient and circle it and take all these readings and stuff and tell her what she needs to do. And that was kind of interesting. I did like that, and I am wondering how close we are now to that, because everything that's written in science fiction ends up coming true one way or another. Your communicator. I mean your cell phone. Yes. Did like it. I've started the 3rd book. I am ready for that. And I hope to read it faster than I have read this. I'm not sure about my work schedule. It may be a little bit more cluttered again. Let me know your thoughts. Have you read this? Were you as conflicted about the character as I ended up being? Did you see her as being racist as I saw her? That's something else. Yeah. And there's a thing. She has been stuck in cold sleep at least twice. And somehow or another, trouble finds her. But for some reason, people around her, they're rather stupid. Because they don't even ask questions. Like, wow, nobody says that. Where are you from? That's kind of old school. What are you doing? Oh. They just kind of accept her and ask very cute, true background stories, you know, and it's slightly weird. I mean, I don't want anyone asking me all sorts of questions, and there's a lot of times where I'm like, I don't want to talk about it. I hope you didn't hear that. My cat just decided to attack a box. Anyways, I sometimes you just don't want to talk about your past, and I get that. But she doesn't even do that. It's just like they don't even care. It's like you're here and I'm here, and this is now, and there's nothing to discuss. Weird. Anyways, Death of Sleep. Hope you like it. Hope you check it out. Hope you like me, subscribe to me. Have any comments, suggestions, please go ahead and fill them in down below. And I'll catch you on the next one. Guys, have a fabulous day.